Hi everyone, Nigel Saunders for Kitchener-Waterloo Bonsai. Today we're going to work on my poinsettia tree. This tree was actually my very first bonsai tree. It's 21 years old, and it was just started out as a regular Christmas plant decoration. It had silvery stuff sprayed on the leaves to make it look pretty, and in the pot that this poinsettia was growing, a little tree sprouted, and it grew a little taller, and it started getting a woody trunk, and I thought, hey, that looks kind of like a little tree. So it started getting taller and taller. It was on my desk at work, and I thought, oh, I'd like to have that on my desk at work as a little tree. And I knew nothing about bonsai, so I found a book on bonsai, and I just fell in love with the hobby. So that little tree, the little ficus tree that sprouted out of the soil, I still have it. It's also 21 years old, and I still have my original poinsettia. It's fairly slim and elegant. If I were to start all over again, I would probably prune the trunk a little more drastically, and it would probably be a smaller tree with more taper, but you learn as you develop your interest in the hobby. You learn how to do things, techniques, and that. So this is what we've got after 21 years. As you can see, it needs pruning. It's getting quite long. The natural form of this tree is quite upright. You don't see any branches coming out sideways too much. So what we're going to do today is we're going to prune it down, and there's a lot of dormant buds all in the trunk line. You can see them everywhere. We'll zoom in for a close-up. So we're going to hard prune it back and try and activate all those buds and get a more compact form to the tree. So the roots in a poinsettia tree are very fine. They're like hair, similar to like a azalea tree. However, as you can see, as they grow and mature, they do thicken up. So it's fairly important to try and sort your roots out with every repotting, so you can get, a reasonable root base. You can get some flare. This tree was grown from a cutting. When I repotted it first, it had a little block of green styrofoam that they stick the cutting in and put it in the pot. So that was all around. So yeah, it's taken quite a few years of sorting out to get the roots even reasonable. And you can still see there's a bit of a ridge around where it was from the original bark of the cutting, but maybe in another 21 years that'll disappear. I don't know. The trunk, it's getting some nice bark on it. What happens as the tree grows, you get a split that forms down the trunk. You can see one actually right here. I'm just going to zoom out right there. So it splits open, and then it sort of smooths over again. Old scars do heal. They take a while. This scar was pruned 2 years ago, and it's beginning to roll over, but not real rapidly. So the tree, it's been growing this spring, just to get some vigor in it and getting ready for the hard pruning. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to prune all this new growth back to the first set of leaves, and then we'll look at the structure of the tree and decide what to do from then on when we get into the harder pruning. Alright, so we're just going to find our first set of leaves, which they alternate like this. So again, you can directional prune. If you want a branch to come out in a more horizontal pattern, you trim it off to a outward facing bud, and you should get a branch that comes a little more horizontal, but they always tend to shoot a little more upright. So I'm going to prune it back to that outward facing bud for now. And we'll do that for all the branches. We'll try and pick an outward facing bud and prune it to that. And it's going to drip a bit of sap. Let's come around here. We're trying to find our outward facing buds. Some branches there's not, they go a little higher up than I want, but yeah, we're gonna probably do some pretty hard pruning on this tree. When I first started growing this tree or plant, I had no idea how long they live. So if you told me when I started it that 21 years later I would still have it, I probably wouldn't believe you. But it's growing really well. It shows no sign of weakening or, you know, dying from old age or anything like that. So I don't know how long they live, but it's still going. Okay, so we've kind of so we've pruned it to all the outward facing buds just to see, you know, it's our first step. And then again, as I said, we want to activate all these little buds that are all over the trunk, but they're not growing because the top's growing. So we've got to reduce our top and it'll sprout out all over the trunk. So again, it's always hard pruning a tree. You know, you lose a lot of growth from that, but I can see there's a lot of buds even in here that are green. There's an outward facing bud there that's green. So yeah, some hard pruning will do it. At the base of all these junctions there's buds too, so we can take a lot of that off. Now we still want to keep our trunks dividing into two. We want to divide it into two again to get some branching, because we're going to start to form our canopy on this tree. So now I'm going to take it right back to here, and there's buds in the base of these branches that'll become active. There's a bud right down here, so I can take this one right off. I'm just going to clean that stub out of there first. Oops, there we go. There we go. And again, these will put them in some soil, keep them damp, and these cuttings will grow. So I'll do that. I'm going to keep any woody cuttings I have and propagate it. Why not? So again, there's a dormant bud there, but I think we'll keep part of that branch structure. One right at the base down here. Chop that off. And I'm going to get rid of one. Hard prune this one. There we go. There's another woody cutting. And up here you can see some of the buds at the base of these branches have already started to sprout and grow. So, you know, we'll keep those. Right there. take that right off there. So you can see on the main trunk line here we've got quite a few sprouts coming off from the same point. So we'll reduce that to a single trunk dividing into two. So I think I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one's a dead stump and this one's a dead stump. So we'll just clean those up, and the rest might be okay once we get those stumps out of there. So let's go to the back here and look for buds. And yeah, I think just right off there. And right here too. This one, I don't think we really want it. Well, there's an outward facing bud there, so we'll keep that. We'll leave these little ones there. They're not doing any harm. And this one can come back to here. Okay, so we're getting down there. So next we want to go in and look at the trunk lines, what we want to do with it, and see if there's anything we can fix. So as I said before, we're going to take some of these old stubs out, which are just old and dried up. And we'll make them a little more of a flush cut, like that. Not there. Now we got to take this old stump out here. This is where I need my concave cutters, but I don't have them right now. There we go. And we'll get this one, cut that off. There we go. So this branch, we've got 1 here, 2 here, which is quite acceptable. There's 2 buds on this horizontal one, which goes a little straight without any movement in it, so we're going to take that right back there, like so. This one's not bad. There's a dead stump in the middle. We'll take that out, like that. Now, where's this camera pointing? Probably not pointing in the right spot. Okay, so we're pretty well done. I mean, there's not much more we can do other than let it regrow again. I'll put it on the turntable and we'll take a look at it for future reference. And that'll be it for today. Hi, so we're going to spin the tree around. This is the front of the tree, and I'll spin it around. You can have a look at it. You can see in the back there's a large scar. That happened when it had quite a large canopy on top, and we got some strange winds and it picked the tree and pot up off the bench and it landed on the ground. It didn't break the pot, but it broke one of the fairly large branch off the back. So one of the reasons I've been growing it is this part of the trunk was quite a bit skinnier than the original trunk, so I've been letting it grow for the last few years to slowly fix that taper to get it to blend in better and close the scar at the back. So it's getting there. You know, a few more years it'll probably be almost gone. One thing about the poinsettia, I know you're going to ask me, have I had it flower again? Yes, I have. When I bring it in the plant room, I don't have lights in the plant room. I just rely on the light coming in the windows. So there's a period of time in the year where we're getting the correct amount of darkness and lightness. And it usually blooms around Christmas time. After it's bloomed, you want to cut off the red leaves because if you leave them on, they start looking a little rough and the tree starts producing seeds at the flowers, and it really retards the growth of the tree. I've had the flowers on, I tried it one year, and it bloomed before Christmas and there were still red leaves on it halfway through July, and the tree didn't really grow at all with the red leaves on. It just was developing the seeds. So yeah, you want to prune the flowers and the red leaves off after you're done displaying the tree. A few notes on the care of the poinsettia. This tree kind of actually tells you what to do. If you give it too much water, you'll get browning around the edges of the leaves. It starts kind of getting a bit rotted around the edge of the leaves. So cut your watering back. If it has too little fertilizer, the leaves come out almost a yellow color and they don't turn dark green like they should. You notice when I brought it out here, the leaves were a little light in color. There's two reasons for that. They're fairly new leaves, and I have started increasing the fertilizing of the tree, so they were starting to darken up, and that's what you want to do. Yeah, so too much water, the tree will tell you. Too little, if you don't water enough, the leaves will actually start drooping, and it's telling you need more water. So yeah, so the tree tells you what to do. They're easy to grow, live a long time, make a great bonsai tree. So, Nigel Saunders, KW Bonsai. See you next time.